Here we are at the Project Alpha studio then, and I'm joined with Maxdmyz.
Oh, hey! Hi. Hi.
Hi. Well, thanks for actually coming up to see us as well on a sort of greyish day. Let's talk about you guys. Obviously, you've been, if I remember, kind of around about 2000 in Somerset. So you've been around for a little while now.
I've had several different incarnations over the years, and a lot of it was kind of ad hoc. I think we probably had, how many? 40 members over the years, bits and pieces. But this is the first time I've been in a band with people who don't hate me. Well,
oh, what about? Really?
Well, okay, most of whom don't hate me. But, and we've had various styles now. I think we started as a kind of almost industrial act with some drum and bass in there, and we still have electronica and stuff with electronics and heavy guitars. But we've done a lot of metal in the past while. Now there's 4 of us. And we were 7 or 8 at one point, weren't we?
7.
Which is unmanageable.
9, 10.
Fucking rugby team.
Yeah, bolt-ons. Yeah, really.
Someone else talk.
We got rid of the brass section. It just wasn't necessary in a metal band.
And the choir.
Yeah.
We were sad to see
and that guy in the lead electric triangle. We had to get rid of him, right?
This one's taking the band up to a Slipknot level.
Yeah, it was, yeah. We couldn't afford the masks though.
He died in a bizarre gardening accident. That's what happened to him. It's very sad.
Well, yeah, it's good how you just mentioned industrial metal, because this week I downloaded the 2 of your albums, purchased 2 of your albums, obviously listened to the brand new track as well. Now, Cosmic Hearse 2010, very industrial feel to that album, the 5 tracks. Was it something on the industrial level that was there from the start? It was a sort of feel which you guys were going to go for, or did it just happen naturally on that sort of level?
It was more natural, I think. It's just like the track turns up. I mean, the first track on that seed is like quite industrial. Yeah. It's kind of stompy, and it's just a feel. We don't sort of like go out and write, oh, this is going to be an industrial track, this will be a metal track. Just if the idea happens to suit a backing track that's industrial, we'll go with it. We won't sort of like lay down a rule and say, right, we've written a metal one, we'll write an industrial one, we'll sit whatever the song wants, you know. Yeah. So if it's industrial, just happens that that one, those 4 songs lent themselves. They worked quite well together.
And it's also the backing track is available. I mean, the way the backing tracks come around is either Simon makes them, or Jamie will drink 20 cans of lager and sit on his laptop.
And then in the morning, wake up
or
naked
maybe in front
with a new tune.
That's good. So I think the beauty is that the music develops organically. We jam it. One of the guys comes up with the backing track, we jam to that. And I suppose it's both a blessing and a curse that the music we do is quite diverse. I just couldn't be in a band that did one kind of music. Yeah. You know, it would just, I just feel limited by it. Consequently, it becomes difficult sometimes for people to pigeonhole us. You know, we in kind of in mock fashion applied to be part of the Damnation Festival last year, and the hate mail we got because we weren't proper metal, and then other people we weren't proper this.
Yeah, because
everybody's so
electronics as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, some people hate
we
it,
weren't
some
proper
people
metal
love it.
band.
It's obsessed with authenticity, and it's very tribal and strange.
That is very strange, but I also find that one of my bugbears is music is music no matter what the genre or pigeonhole within the metal section, because we've got so many subgenres under the metal flag. If you like metal, okay, you may not like certain aspects of the genre, but don't slag a band off for it. I mean, go and watch someone else, or go and have a drink, or do whatever. There's no need for that hate mail.
I think my view is that we've had some poor reviews which have been very constructive and that we've learnt from. Yeah. I guess it's difficult when everyone has an opinion, but you need to do a band justice and judge them on their own terms and their own merits. You can say, hey, this is my kind of thing, but having said that, you know, they deliver on, you know, X, Y, and Z. So.
Yeah, and it also comes down to the aspect of the day which you're performing as well, because there might be something go wrong with the sound, there might be something wrong with the PA, or something else might completely go wrong. So it's out of your hands really, and it's down to the people enjoying the music.
That happens. That has happened a lot.
That's true, Wolf. But at the same time, sometimes you come off stage and you know the sound has been bad, and you know you've made 1 or 2 mistakes. But the energy was good, and the crowd was responsive, and it was a great gig. So, yeah.
Excellent. So when it comes to pen to paper writing material, are all you guys involved, or does it come down to one particular person and then it's all done within the session, the jamming?
I'd say it comes from all angles.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say very, very rarely does one person say, come on, I got this tune, I've written it, and you guys have to play it like this. No, it's all like, I got this idea, and you're like, no, we don't even say that, we just start playing it. And then if it's a good idea, everyone will catch on to it and start throwing stuff in. And if it's not,
we just have a fight.
Yeah.
Fight!
The Eskimo ear pulling. The first one to start, like,
you like this riff? How much?
Well, I think what is a pleasure though is being part of a project which allows people to express themselves.
Yeah.
So in terms of money and copyright and everything, we split everything 4 ways. So traditionally, for example, in the industry, if a drummer writes a drum track to a tune, it's an arrangement, that's the fiction, so that person doesn't get paid. In reality, they've composed the drum track. So it's important to me to respect that, for everything to go 4 ways. And we are open to one another's ideas. It's difficult, I guess, for me to deliver a lyric that isn't mine. Not so much from an ego point of view, just from a kind of, it doesn't feel that it's coming from me. But beyond that, we are open to each other's ideas, and that feels good.
The country and western was out though.
That's right. Well, you know,
maybe a little bit of jazz, a little modern jazz.
Yeah, that's his fault.
But you keep playing the Carpenters.
Yeah, sound checking the Carpenters tune. It confuses the hell out of people. That's great. We can have the guitar now, and then suddenly the Carpenters comes out. They're like, okay, that's awesome. Until I get beaten up, I stop.
Yeah.
So as musicians, when did you first discover your talents?
I've got a really great story about that. I'm so glad you asked that question.
Really?
Glad you asked me.
No, when I was about 7 years old, I was out on family holiday in Greece, and there's these sweets that you could buy, and they were like boiled sweets but had a slide in them, so they effectively were a slide whistle.
Toot sweets.
Yeah, toot sweets. And I bugged me folks to buy me one, and they got one. I was like, sat down, and for half an hour I sat there and figured out how to play This Old Man on it. And then straight after that, straight into like private piano tuition. I was like, what's going on? And, classical piano up until like 13 years old, and then I started listening to new music. Like I discovered my dad's Frank Zappa collection and like vinyl and Pink Floyd stuff. And I was like, cool.
That must have messed with your melon.
This stuff is fucking badass. And and.
No wonder you were so messed up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, haven't looked back.
How about yourself?
Well, the question involves an assumption, doesn't it? But so far as my heritage is Italian, so people sing from there. There's not a point at which I can't remember singing.
Yeah.
My mother would sing Neapolitan folk songs and lullabies, and my father would sing the same, and so I was immersed in it. And so I can't remember not ever having sung, so it's really foundational to who I am, you know. That's it.
Excellent.
Yeah, well, the way I started, because my dad played guitar, he played classical guitars, and he had his guitars lined up in his study, and I used to go in and sort of like play with the strings. He was like, don't touch that. So the only way you're allowed to touch a guitar is if you actually sit down and learn how to play properly. Because like as a little kid, fascinated by these big guitars, and so the only way I could actually play them was to actually learn properly. So it's like if I just sort of like played with it, you used to get a thick ear. So it's like, right, sit down, put it on. When he used to start teaching me, so it was like just a natural thing to do, sort of like play guitar with my dad. And then as I got older and I got a bit more annoying, I thought I need electricity, and he thought, okay, buy an electric guitar. So electric guitar, and then that's where it all started going wrong. So yeah, so it's like again like. Bit like Moffat, it's just like a natural thing to do from an early age. Like there was always music in the house, and I carefully ignored my mum's Elton John and Cliff Richard albums and stuck to my dad's Deep Purple albums and Led Zeppelin. And things were all right. Things could have been a lot worse if they were under my mother's influence. But yes, I survived. Mind you, a bit of Elton John.
Again, it was pretty much the same as these two. I can just remember my dad playing loads and loads of metal, you know, AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin, and he had these speakers that were bigger than me, so the speakers were right next to my head.
Made an impression.
You know, in the face. Oh, what's that? And all my family were like, they all like the guitars. No disrespect to you, guitar man, but it was always what called the drums. You know, the biggest thing on the sound. You know. So yeah, from a young age, it was just who's doing that, who's making all that racket.
That and Jamie couldn't be bothered learning where the notes were on the fret.
Oh yeah,
hit this one.
Oh yeah, I can play now.
I think I've been up and close and personal to a lot of musicians, as I've explained, that have been in this band. And what I can say about this crew is that we're all going to get better. Now that sounds crazy, but we've got that talent, but we spend a lot of time trying to nurture it and develop it and move it on. And I come from a melodic metal background. I listen to anything from Bowie to the Beatles, and then Sabbath, Zeppelin, and whatnot. And as I've grown, I've tried to incorporate more contemporary styles in what I do and learn more about the voice. So I think it's important to us all that we continue to develop as musicians, and that we improve, within our own terms.
That's really cool, especially musical background as well. You've got quite a diverse sort of background which you've been able to bring forward as well, which stems back to the way which your music's produced, and people not being able to pigeonhole you as well. The classical sort of background, obviously you've been sung to, the voices being sung to throughout all your life, and you experience the drumming, the guitar, so it's all there. It's what they call it is the solid foundation on which you guys can obviously progress forward as well. So I noticed the difference between Cosmic Hearse and then the 2012 album All as well. There was a slight difference on. It's almost like as the band had grown a little bit more, and then hearing Nothing for Change.
Nothing ever changed.
Nothing ever changed. Again, that went to a completely different level.
It is a tasty tune.
Mm.
That's the song we all make love to.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, fucking rabbit.
I think one of the slight frustrations for me may be there'll be, and I'll probably get hate mail for this, but there's a band that I really love, just reacting to their tunes as Audio Slaves. So I know they're a corporate band, this, that and the other, but if the shit fits, wear it. And when I listen to those riffs, I like it. But even so, it's kind of one thing. Chris Cornell pretty much delivers that one thing. Now, we can have a song like AKA, which is about young love, let's say, and you can have something like Cosmic Hearse or something like All, which is about suicide. And it's just different parts, expressions of different parts of our natures at different times. And within a song, it's really important to me to deliver different vocals to give a different feel, and almost like give voice to different characters. So to sing just like a blues guy or whatever for me, it would feel insufficient. So I think if there's something distinctive, certainly about what I do, I like to think it's giving different voices to different moods, different feelings in a song, different characters.
We just like playing guitar.
Sometimes I can be subtle. Sometimes I don't use so much distortion. So.
You go from 11 to 10.
Yeah.
This is the only band where people tell them to turn up.
I think that's a good thing about what I quite enjoy about certain bands listening to their music is the album and the songs tell a story. It's not just this title, this track, this title, this track. The vocalists and the drummers, the guitarists, everyone almost switches character from one to the next. They turn up, like you guys, you can turn it up a level, you can bring it down a level. And it, especially if you've never seen a band perform live, you can almost visualise what's going to be happening on the stage during that particular time. So talking about live performances, we've never had the opportunity to see you guys perform live. Where are you actually touring? Have you got any gigs coming up this year?
Got the Renaissance Festival in North London at the Boston Arms on the 26th of May.
Yep.
And we've got some gigs coming up in the summer and in the autumn. We're releasing an album, AKA, in the autumn.
Yeah.
We're going to have some video coming out with that. But we're still working on finalising some dates. But the May the 26th date is in the bag, so we're definitely going to be doing that.
And there's Altfest next year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in for it.
Yeah, yeah. There's a fetish club night run by called Antichrist, run by a guy called Dominic Void, and he's starting up a new alternative festival next year called Altfest, which sort of takes all the mishmash and freaks nobody wants to stand near at the bus stop,
That's cool.
and like sticks them all in one spot in a field, and you've got bands like Fields of the Nephilim, us.
And that's all we need to see.
Yeah.
They should have called it that Freak at the Bus Stop Festival.
Yeah.
That'd have been a lot better.
But yeah, we secured a nice little spot on that, and we're deciding actually, because we've got a set's worth of industrial stuff and a set's worth of melt your face off metal stuff. We're kind of in talks with Dom about where do we appear? Do we appear on the industrial stage or the metal stage? Or, if we can be a bit cheeky, can we do both?
Yeah.
Please. Negotiations in progress.
Yeah.
but-
Obviously not at the same time. That would be difficult.
That'd be pretty difficult, yeah.
Unless we get a time machine. Which would be really good if we was playing at one corner
I
and
don't know,
and
but
playing at the same time.
then you got to
at
think
the
about
opposite side.
paradoxes, because we'd be in the exact same time frame at the exact same time. We could rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
That would be cool.
Too dangerous.
I think it would be a great marketing tool. Band that broke time.
That'd be our gimmick. Yeah.
I think the difficulty with touring and dates, we need to be selective. It involves a lot of money often we don't have, and also the terms. We had a gig finalised at a certain venue.
Won't name drop, because that's unfair.
Won't name drop. But it became so at a certain point in negotiations. Do you have a kit, headliner? Do you want to supply the kit for the rest of the band? Sure, as long as you cover us. If the first band busts the kit, you bought it. If you bend it, you bought it. And no,
they didn't want it.
So you say, well, because it's happened before.
So essentially, what they wanted us to do is go there, play for tuppence, and then roadie for everyone.
Is it surprising?
and you kind of sat there thinking, you guys for real? It's
this
like,
ain't Woodstock, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's not your starting point. But it's just there are some negative experiences around touring, what have you, and so often promoters what they do is they book a venue and they book a band. The promotion stuff doesn't happen. So
no actual promoting in the job title of promotion.
But there are some really good promoters out there as well. So I wouldn't want to tar everybody in the same brush at all.
Yeah.
It's the unfortunate thing where you get a couple of bad pennies, and every other person that gets tarnished with the same brush.
But there's some shit bands as well. Can I swear on the podcast?
Yeah.
There are some bands shit swear word, I don't know. But bands who turn up with no gear at all, or screw up, or cancel late, or can't be bothered to forget. So they can be abused on both sides.
I think the one sort of band that I don't like is you do have them, the bands that don't turn up with any gear. They come 5 minutes before they're due on, play, and leave.
Yeah.
And you're sort of like, and 10 minutes later they'll be on their Facebook going, oh, there's a shit turnout, fucking, live music's dying. And it's like, because, as a band, you also have to do your part in supporting the scene. You can't just do your thing and go, oh, that's good, bye. Well, that was shit. It's wrong. It's bands supporting bands. When you've got support acts. When you're thinking of a small scale, at the moment, it doesn't matter where you are, because there's no such thing as a supporting act for a small show. You're all just on the same bill. But if you do think of it as a supporting act, the word supporting has two meanings. It's a double meaning. Not only are you supporting the band by playing before them, but you're also supporting them by being there.
Yeah.
And when bands don't do that, it's just like, why bother?
I think you're right when you said before. If we don't come together to promote the scene and abandon this idea of competition, we will hang separately.
Yeah.
And that's just the reality of it. So.
That's the thing. I think, especially with the UK, I think it's affected across Europe as well. Everyone's lost their musical passion since bloody Simon Cowell decided to step out of the studio and monopolise everything, giving people 15 minutes of fame, saying, "Yep, you can do it." Blah blah. Here's your TV.
It's like the national lottery for musicians, isn't it?
It's like, that's the fantasy.
Oh, well, musicians. Sorry.
Then you've got the reality, which is you're not going to make it unless you work your asses off. You've got to put in. It's not 9 to 5. It's virtually 24/7. You've got to do promotion. You've got to make sure everything's out there. You've got to make sure your fans are communicating.
And even then, But I'm not sure if it was better in the past. You know, you look at someone like Don Argent, you know, Sharon Osbourne's father. He controlled the business for a certain time, and I'm not sure it was ever any different. There's a friend of mine, Crusher Jewel. You know, he's a DJ and so on, and he'll tell you about all that stuff and the way it's controlled and the way it happens, and so I've still got the passion for it. In fact, the internet and all the rest of it is a kind of great equaliser in a way. You go to a Facebook page, you download somebody's music, and you either like it or you don't.
And it's good. That's the thing with social networking as well. It gives your music not a chance just to be downloaded by one person, but then that person will share your page and link on their page, which is seen by a few hundred people, and then it spreads and it spreads.
Except in China, no Facebook in China.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to happen, right? You listen to a song, you like it, you show it to your friends, they like it, right? Isn't that the way it is?
Well, that's the way it used to happen. You used to buy your vinyl, record it onto tape, pass your tape to your friend, because that vinyl never left your sight whatsoever. That tape would then be recorded, and then recorded, passed on, and then unfortunately that's when they brought in, decided to say, no, pirating laws, you're not allowed to do this. And it was like, did that ever stop? No, it didn't, because music was shared. And true music was shared by true fans.
What I like is I've seen some bootleg footage from shows in the 70s, and I got to hand it to the people who managed to sneak in a fucking video camera and everything.
And action. Hold on, stop the concept, changing the reel. Clunk. That'd be cool.
Well, so it was a band, Bull Riff Stampede. They just decided to do their own bootleg tape. They had someone record it at Hammerfest this year, and they just decided to release it for free across it, and that has just gone down a storm because everyone is remembering the good old bootleg days where you used to go risk like a couple of pound on a bootleg tape. You're either going to get a crap quality, which you just use the tape over something else. You would have a real solid evidence of the concerts you've missed.
Well, I do like Hammerfest for that, though. I mean, because it is like a massive community there. I mean, you get new people every year, but you get the same faces who are always floating around. You're like, oh, how's it going? Yeah, like I managed to sneak into a couple of the DC meetings and make use of the free beer, and met some like cracking people there, and I think that's exactly what the metal scene needs, like more stuff like Hammerfest. So, I didn't go this year because of the new site, and I wanted to hear what it was like first before I made a choice. But every time I've been, you meet up with friends, and when the bands where you're all slapping their chalets and talk about these awesome bands you've seen, because every time I've gone to Hammerfest, I've only known the headlining acts. Like, oh cool, I really want to see them, and like a few other bands down the bill, and I always end up just trotting off to one of the stages and go, these guys are pretty alright, and that doesn't really happen anymore. It's always like, oh, I've got to check them out on Spotify or Facebook first. But no, Hammerfest, you're like, oh, I saw this great band, and they're like, oh yeah, they're my friends. Come, we'll go over to their chalet and say hello, and it's freaking great. I absolutely love it.
And then at 3 o'clock you end up naked.
It takes his clothes off a lot.
Which is worrying. I'm sitting next to you.
They are restrictive.